Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Today I'll be watching The Chosen episode 5, possibly episode 6. Possibly. If I don't end up watching episode 6, then I'll watch it in the next video, but I'm excited. I saw that episode 5's episode is titled The Wedding or something like that, so I'm very excited. I did try to watch this episode yesterday, but I was not feeling well. I was feeling dizzy and I was feeling tired and exhausted, and I was like, you know what, maybe the Lord just wants me to rest. I definitely rested today. I feel a lot better, and yeah, I'm ready to watch the video. Stay with me for my review at the end.
Jerusalem. No.
I just realized how scary that must be as a parent to lose your child like that. Like, there were times where I would lose my sister, like I wouldn't know who she is, and I panicked. I can't imagine as a parent how scared I is.
Supposed to be with my father.
Then why weren't you?
I just realized how confusing Jesus must have been. I mean, she did have a supernatural birth, but like the way Jesus just comfortably be like, but I was with my father.
Help us get through all of this with you. Please.
And then Jesus became subjected to his feelings.
Before they make a...
I wonder how he's gonna tell her about Jesus.
So many fish.
I wonder if she's gonna
Who were
believe.
pouring into the boat. So he said that I wouldn't be a fisherman anymore, but that I would catch people instead. I don't even know what that means. But I'm sure what I saw.
Yeah.
He's the one you've been with.
Why would I be upset?
Aww. I'm so glad that she's taking this so well.
Then why are you crying?
Because someone fight a disease in you. But I always see.
Aww. So beautiful. Yeah. You're a fisher of man now.
I will travel sometime.
When have we ever had anything easy?
Aww, she's so supportive.
It's your full margin. Why would you do that?
That's Doubting Thomas. I want to call him Doubting Thomas throughout this whole series.
I don't know. Maybe it would look like we never traveled with the Messiah before and we don't know what we're doing. A bit nervous. Who James is? How will we solve this? Well,
James 1. Oh!
I go by Big James.
Little James.
To you, young James. Yes, I think that's fair. The sense of justice too.
To tell up, we have time for a special prayer together. Abner sent me on a kid.
You can tell the difference between their class by the way they're carrying themselves. And
Teenager who cracked my head open at Asher's when he was a child. I don't think he finds me remarkable. Did you think much of your childhood friends?
No, he didn't have any.
That's not true. I stand corrected. He had compulsory trips. I don't remember kids exactly lining up around the block.
When he's not working, he has a calling. I seldom know where it will take him.
I know in the Bible they did mention how Mary kept everything, because the beginning scene of this episode was when Jesus went to go teach and she was looking for him. In the Bible they described that she kept all of that in her heart, and I'm thinking, is this gonna be a good display of that? I always used to be so fascinated by that verse because I was like, okay, what does it mean? But Mary took all those things. Was she keeping note of okay, I have a son that has a great calling, and she was paying attention, okay, these are signs of this great calling. That's just something that came to my mind while watching the scene.
Gaffney of the Gaffney Vineyards on the plains of Shiro. It is an...
Aww.
You will give my...
That's such a cute introduction.
Him?
Yeah.
What's his name? Who has ascended into heaven and come back down? I asked his name. Who has gathered the winds?
This must be so frustrating because he's just been looking for a name.
He is here to awaken the earth. But some will not want to waken. They're in love with the dark. I wonder
Yeah.
which one will be.
No offense, but John the Baptist is kind of scary.
Anything like we believe for it exists at all.
I ask you for more, tell them you'll be right back. But guess what? You won't be. Understand?
That's exactly the way I would think, actually. I would do exactly the same thing.
This is the best party I've been to in a long while.
The relief.
A trade, Rafi, hasn't brought you much success. And well, our share
The
seems like a
backhanded,
nice
it's
nod.
not backhanded compliments, it's just straight
Get it.
Yeah, I
being.
don't mean to insult. My family has been powerful
That's so.
traders. I lost my train of thought.
Salt the food? Make them thirst for water?
That actually sounds smart. Like the first for water is such a bad. It's so bad, but it could kind of work. Jesus is always with the children. It's so cute. Aww.
Mother, my time has not yet come.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, that was actually kind of beautiful because they had that same shot of her saying please at the beginning, and then he listened. And he's listening to her now, and like he was subject and listened to his mother. I wonder if Jesus did these miracles also when he was at home. Like she like if he used to always do these things, but only for like Mary and her husband and Joseph.
Tell anyone you find to stop what they're doing and help.
Thomas always doubting. I was gonna make a denying joke of, like Peter and Jesus asked
Like that sometimes, Thomas.
Andrew,
What did you say?
are you gonna deny that? I was gonna be like, Peter, do you wanna answer that?
I don't know. For a man like you in Capernaum, always counting, always measuring.
So you talking about
That's my
Matthew?
job.
Once you make that
Wow.
first cut.
I so badly wanted Jesus to say, woman, what business do I have with you? When Mary asked him.
Stop the music!
So dramatic. I wonder how that wine must have tasted.
Everyone! Unnecessary but honorable gesture.
Wow. So now they even, instead of shamed, they even honored.
I'll go with you to the ends of the earth.
Peter's enthusiasm is exactly how I imagine him in the Bible. So full of zeal and passion.
Andrew's feet.
I would have loved to see Jesus' sense of humor. Ah, come on!
So, will you help him? Some things even I cannot do.
Okay, that was fun. Thomas is still thinking. It's a lot. Follow him, Thomas.
I don't know what you think.
It's a lot actually to think about now that I think about it. Like you're trusting a complete stranger. You're going to do who knows what because he didn't give much details. It's faith. Wow. God's calling you to faith. Follow me and you'll see. It's so beautiful. Absolutely love that episode. It was so beautiful. Like I mentioned in the watching, but at the beginning, when it kind of had that shot of Mary kind of being fully, like that close up shot of Mary and her being like, please, and Jesus's reaction to that, and him being subjected and submissive and listening to what she had to say. And at the wedding, they had that same shot that was so beautiful. Like I was wondering why they did that, and I'm glad that like it was to do that little exchange, and I loved it so much. This episode was just so beautiful. Like seeing we're introduced to Thomas, he's the new disciple now, and so excited. And I like calling him Doubting Thomas, and I think it's just because I know. Spoiler alert! If you didn't read the Bible, this would be a spoiler. But Thomas does doubt something, and not to spoil, but he does doubt, and it's so nice, I guess, watching the disciples like coming slowly by slowly, adding a few here until we're gonna finally get to 12. We haven't gotten Matthew yet. He hasn't been featured in this episode, but it was actually so nice. Like, it made me realize how much of a step of faith they were actually taking, because Jesus was being quite and even when you read the Bible, Jesus would just be like, "Follow me," and then it'll be like, "Why?" Then Jesus will be like, "I'll make you fishers of men," or Jesus will be like, "Follow me," and like, "Why?" Because you'll see great and powerful things. Like, Jesus wouldn't exactly give them the full plan. He wouldn't say, "Okay, follow me because in Samaria this and this and this and this, and then I'm gonna die, then I'm gonna resurrect, and da 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 da." No, Jesus wouldn't do any of that things, and it kind of reminded me of our own walk with God. Like, I think that was something that really impacted me a lot. Like, even in our own walk, there'll be times God will call us to something and be like, "Okay, follow me here, follow me in this career path, follow me in this relationship, follow me in this decision." And He won't give us all the details. He's not going to say, "Follow me in this decision, and then this is going to happen, and you're going to meet this and this person, and then that's going to happen, and that's going to happen." Sometimes He does give us detailed, information, but He will never tell us everything. And that's where faith needs to come in. Because if He told us everything, we wouldn't be walking in faith anymore, we'd just be walking. But He gives us just enough so that we know what we need to do, which is follow Him. And He gives us some sort of clue of the destination. Follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. Or He'll give us a glimpse of the plan. Like, follow me and I'll use you in this way. But He won't give us the full story, because He wants us to trust Him and to just rely that He knows what He's doing. And that was just such a powerful message, even to myself. I know I wanted to watch episode 6, but I don't think I'll be able to watch episode 6. I think this episode is just really good, and I actually just want to meditate on this episode, because I just started reflecting on that. Like, what are some things God has called me into that maybe, just like Thomas, I'm hesitating. And like, I don't know what to make of this, God. I don't know what, there's certain things that God sometimes calls me to do, and I'm just like, "Hey, God, what's the plan? What are we doing? What are we like? What's happening? Where is this gonna lead to?" Okay, I don't want to just jump in the water. I want you to tell me what's the purpose of jumping in the water. And Thomas throughout this episode was like that. He would tell him, like, Mary told him to do everything Jesus told him to do, and his friend, right, she immediately did it, as well as the other servants. But he was just like, "Okay, but why?" And then he was like, "Okay, but why?" And I love that Jesus said that it's not bad. Like, Jesus said it's good to ask questions. It's how you learn. And I love that Jesus said that, because it is true. I know I've mentioned this several times in a lot of movies that I've watched recently, like The Case for Christ, God's Not Dead. I know I've emphasized this over and over and over again, like a broken record, but I think it's just such a good reminder of it's so good to ask questions. I think a lot of people might be like, don't ask God questions, but no, Jesus embraced it, because that's how you learn. He wasn't upset at Thomas, like, "You have little faith." And there are times that Jesus does say you have little faith, but when it comes to two genuine questions where you genuinely want an answer to learn, to understand, Jesus is not afraid of that. And I liked how they displayed how Jesus was never afraid of it, and He didn't get frustrated. Like, He didn't look at Thomas like, "This one." No, he still was inviting, still gentle, still peaceful. It was like, "Yeah, it's good that you're asking a question." And that's so wonderful, because I think it validates the times in our lives where we are like having those same questions. We're like, "Okay, God, okay, but what are we doing?" It's not a bad thing to ask that, you know? Because that's how you learn, and that's when Jesus God, okay, Jesus is God. That's when God can speak to you and tell you things and be like, trust me, or you'll see what I'm doing, or all things are gonna work out for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. Like that's when he can speak back to you. It doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna answer each and every one of your questions, give you the full scope. God, I don't know what we're doing. Then God's gonna give you like a full like Excel sheet or a Word document of everything. No, there are times where you're gonna have all these questions. He's not gonna answer it in depth, but he's gonna give you a word that will give you peace. He's gonna tell you something that will give you peace. Like, I'm working it out. And sometimes we just need that to trust that his ways are higher. So I really loved this episode. I think that was just so beautiful. I also liked how John the Baptist, John the Baptist was low key scary, not gonna lie. Like, I know there were times I was like, okay, this man does seem a bit crazy. But knowing John the Baptist is, I wasn't that phased. And seeing, I believe it's Nicodemus, the Pharisee, just asked him this question. Him kind of going parables. I can see the frustration in his face because no one's giving him an exact answer, but he gave him a clue. It's the Son of God, and that's true. That's who Jesus is. He's literally the Son of God, and back then to say something like that is so scandalous. Even though that is the truth, the Jews didn't expect it in this way. So then it was just like blasphemy, scandalous lies, and that was so beautiful because it made me realize how much backlash Jesus might have gotten if he said it too early of I'm the Son of God. And another beautiful thing is how aware Jesus was of times and seasons. Like he knew it was not his time to do his public ministry and he stuck to it. Like he didn't rush to it. He wanted to teach when he was 12 years old. You could see at the synagogue he was teaching, but he knew it was not his time. And I just admire that patience that he had. Like I think watching this episode made me think, whoa, Itty, like you probably also need to slow down sometimes. Like this, like I think in our culture it's always do it now, do it now, do it now. If you don't do it now, then da 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 da. But I think watching this and realizing that Jesus had to wait, if like he was 12 years old, 12 minus 30, that's 18. If you had to wait 18 years and like just moving in secret, in private, learning, doing a little teaching here, a little healing there, but not making yourself known, that's a lot of patience. And I feel like that is something that our generation loses sometimes, which is just pure patience. Good things take time. Even a baby, it takes time, to do it right. And this is not to cause like, okay, I guess I'm gonna take procrastination and like fear, I'm not gonna do what God called me to do. No, it's moving when God tells you to move. Some people 30 years old to start ministry is too young. It's not about what age and what not age, or we should all take 18 years or we should all take 2 years. It's not about that, because it took 3 years for the disciples to learn everything they need to go out and spread the gospel. It's not about the times and the years. It's about moving with God. God knew that he needed 18 years to learn everything and to do everything to be equipped for the ministry. And God knows us personally. For me, it could take 5 years, 10 years. It could just take 6 months. For someone else, it might take 7 years, 17 years. God does things so individually. And the key is not to rush out of a season God has you in. It's to embrace that season. And when he says go, to go. It's not to be like, okay, God, I think this is too early for me, or God, I think this is too late for me. It's saying, God, when you're gonna say go, that's when I'm gonna go. When you're gonna say stop, that's when I'm gonna stop. When you're gonna say hide, that's when I'm gonna hide. When you say it's time to walk out, that's when I'm gonna walk out. Jesus was aligned with the Father. And I think that made me realize, okay, it's so much more important for me to be aligned with God than for me to just do things in my own will, because that's when things go crazy. So that convicted me a lot. I have lots of things to think about, pray about, journal about, a lot about, just on this episode alone. And this is something that I miss about TVs or watching episodes. I think binging, as much as it's a wonderful thing to stream online now and binge things, which I could easily binge all the chosen episodes. And happy actually that I'm taking this episode by episode, even just doing these reviews, because I feel like when you just rush to finish something, you just, it's so good. Sometimes it's so good, you just end up watching the next episode. You can miss a lot of gems until you sit back and you think about it. Same thing like reading the Bible. If you just read, you can miss a lot of gems if you just reading it like just to get it done. And I think watching the series like one episode a day, or one episode every 2 days or 3 days, because it's different being a full-time student. I think it has been such a beautiful thing because it's allowed me to actually think about the movies and watching, the shows and watching, reflect back on it, journal. Sometimes I pray about it. Like I'll talk to God and be like, God, in this episode of The Chosen, I was convicted about this. I was encouraged about this. I felt this when I watched that. And it allows me to grow and become a better person versus if I watched like 5 episodes in a row and then I'll just remember the key moments, but I didn't let it sit in me. So I've been enjoying this series so far. I really wish I can watch episode 6, but I know that I should probably just let this episode sit with me and be patient. And maybe it's not my time for episode 6 yet, but I'm so excited to watch episode 6. If you stayed here, I want to hear your views. I want to hear what you have to say. What did you like about this episode? What did you learn about this episode? What are your thoughts about binging things versus watching things like episode by episode and taking your time? Do you like meditating on films and shows, or you someone who's like, I'm just watching it for entertainment, which is not a bad thing. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you for the next one. Au revoir, à bientôt.